Good morning, I'm Sunetra Choudhury, political editor of the Hindustan Times, bringing you all that you need to know about COVID-19 on Tuesday, May 12th. First up, a look at the numbers. There are now more than 70,000 cases, in fact 70,713 cases across the country, and more than 2,200 people have died till now. The top story, which is a bit worrying, is the fact that there have been a new cluster of cases in Wuhan in China, the place from where COVID infection first originated. And these new cases, in fact 6 new cases have been reported on Sunday in Wuhan, have caused fears of a second wave of infections of the virus. All of us are watching all of that to see exactly what happens, because as we know, Wuhan reopened just last month after several months of being under lockdown. And it's not just Wuhan which is seeing a second set of cases. Also in South Korea, which has been praised quite considerably for effectively managing its infections, that saw 35 new cases. In fact, authorities in South Korea are now scrambling to trace all of the people in crowded areas like restaurants and nightclubs from where these new lot of cases have arisen. So that's a story to keep tracking. The other story that we've known for some time now, that men are more likely to be vulnerable to COVID-19 infections. In fact, the number of men that have died from corona is also much higher. Well, now the science, we know something about why this is so. And that is because COVID-19, the virus, seems to attach itself easier to an enzyme which is more prevalent in men's blood. This enzyme is called ACE2. It's in higher concentration in men. It's found in various parts of the body, the heart, the kidney, but it's especially prevalent in the male organs. And that's why SARS-CoV infection finds it easier to infect. They use this particular enzyme to enter the bloodstream and to enter the heart. And so we know a lot more now about why men are more susceptible to COVID-19. Now, government has also planned greater surveillance and testing of COVID-19. Initially, it was only those who showed symptoms, and now government has announced that they are going to conduct 200 tests in each of the 718 districts across the country. Now, these tests will be conducted every week. The government has asked each district to identify 10 centers, health centers, where this will be conducted. There will be both swab tests and blood tests in order to check, and half of the tests will be for groups that are much more vulnerable, that is health workers. So these random tests will improve community surveillance, taking tests to those districts which perhaps till now haven't seen any COVID-19 infections. The next story that we have for you is a strange story of the scare of COVID-19 in Tihar jail. On Friday, a man was taken in for suspected rape. When the victim tested positive for COVID-19, it set off a major scare in Asia's largest prison because of the amount of overcrowding that is there. And authorities were really scared that the jail, which has seen no cases till now, will see a quick spread of infection, a bit like what has been there in Arthur Road Jail, which saw in just a week from one person testing COVID positive, it's spreading to 184 people. So the rape accused was tested for corona, and several other prisoners as well have been kept in isolation. 2 others were tested as well. They have been found to be negative till now, but they have been also put in positive. Remember, a lot of authorities and activists are saying that there should be decrowding in jails. A lot of prisoners should be sent home on bail or parole, because jails being overcrowded are breeding grounds for corona infection. And finally, an update on Edward Zibart, the German who has been living in Delhi airport since March 18th. Well, a day after Hindustan Times reported, the German embassy has now clarified that they didn't abandon him because he has a criminal record. In fact, they offered him a free passage home at several instances. However, it seems he doesn't want to go back to Germany. Indian authorities told Hindustan Times that he has visas of several countries and India has issued him a Leave India notice because they want him to go back. He came in from Hanoi and he was traveling to Turkey. Turkey, of course, said because he's not their national, they can't accommodate him in their special flight, which was only for their citizens. But Ziebart has told Indian authorities that as soon as international flights start, he has visas for other countries and he will leave. So those are the news updates for now. Keep tracking them on hindustantimes.com.